First of all, welcome to the Belvidere Mansion. The Belvidere is a home, a private home, that was built by Mr. Bayless. It was started in 1902 and completed in 1907. It took 5 years to complete. The house is named Belvidere by Mrs. Bayless. The Bayless family lived here till about 1920. The Belvidere is a French word that means a beautiful view or beautiful to see, which is appropriate for the home because it's the tallest home in Claremore at the time it was built, and I think it still remains the tallest building in Claremore. It's basically a 9,000 square foot home. It has the rounded turrets on the front of the building, square turrets to the back. It's built at the end of the Victorian era, but it still has a lot of the Victorian flavor to it. It also has a touch of the art craft era, which was just beginning at the turn of the century. When you come into the main floor foyer, you'll see the Italian tile on the floors, the marble wainscoting imported from Italy, as well as the tin ceilings and the tin walls, which is quite unusual. Tin ceilings are common, the tin walls are quite unusual. Most of the woodwork in the Belvidere is still the original. The woodwork was brought from the 1904 St. Louis World's Fair. At the end of the fair, they generally take down the beautiful buildings that they built. Mr. Bayless had several carloads full, brought in by railroad, of all of the building materials that he used in building this home. He was quite a recycler ahead of his time for his day. Mr. Bayless was originally a school teacher in Cassville, Missouri. Then he invested in railroading and banking. He came into Northeast Oklahoma at the turn of the century. He went through Tulsa, he went through Claremore, and he went through several small towns around the northeast area of Oklahoma. He decided to buy some land in downtown Tulsa. But when he came through Claremore, Claremore at the turn of the century had twice the population that Tulsa did, and it had 2 railroads. Tulsa only had 1. So he decided this was going to be the place to be, sold his property in downtown Tulsa, and bought this square block in Claremore and started building his home here. He was also responsible for building the Windsor Opera House in Claremore. He built a 3-story athletic building, which had an indoor swimming pool, quite unusual for the turn of the century. He built the Sequoia Hotel. He built what was called the First National Bank. He had his own power plant for this home. This home originally had gas and electric combination lighting fixtures in the home. So he was quite an entrepreneur and quite ahead of his time. Unfortunately, all of the buildings that Mr. Bayless built in this town have been torn down except for this one. This one was slated to be torn down in the early 1990s, and the Historical Society purchased it, and we've been renovating and restoring it ever since. In the early 30s, the Bell family bought it and it was turned into apartments, which some people say is too bad for the home, but actually, as expensive as the home was to live in, it probably was the only way that the mansion was able to sustain itself. When the Historical Society purchased the home, they removed the added kitchenettes that were put in for the apartments, the extra walls, so that the way you see the home now is the original floor plan, which was 2 parlors, the large dining room, kitchen, and a small study for Mr. Bayless, and a bathroom on the first floor. The second floor housed 6 bedrooms and 2 full baths, and then the third floor is the full open ballroom, which the Bayless family did use for holding parties and hosting the local community to come to different affairs that were held upstairs in the Belvidere Mansion. We're now on the second floor of the Belvidere Mansion that has the 6 bedrooms upstairs here. Also has a nanny room. The Bayless family had 6 children, and so they had a nanny that also lived with them. So her small bedroom is also on the second floor where the children's were. And we are now at the stairway that leads up to the ballroom, which is used for parties and rentals now by the Historical Society, but it was also used in its day for parties that were hosted by the family.